Finding Light in Darkness, Episode 7, Anxiety, the Uninvited Guest. Hey everyone, welcome back. Before we get into the heart of today's episode, grab a cuppa, your favorite blanket, or whatever helps you feel grounded. We'll be starting in just 2.5 minutes.
Take this time to settle in, breathe deep. Today's episode is raw, it's real. And honestly, it's one that hits home for me more than I expected.
This one's for anyone who's ever felt ambushed by anxiety, that unwanted guest that shows up without warning. We'll see you in a few minutes. Let's walk through it together. You're not alone.
Feel control. Rise up high, touch the sky. Feel the fire, never die. Every step closer, yeah. Chase the sun. You're the one. No more fear. Hear the cheer. Voices loud. Be so proud. Rise up high, touch the sky. Feel the fire, never no more fear. Hear the cheer. Voices loud. Be so proud. Rise up high, touch the sky. Feel the fire, never stop. Morning light, so bright, shine through night. Wake up heart, new day start. Dreams take flight.
G'day, and welcome back to Finding Light in Darkness. I'm Scott, and I want to start by saying a huge, heartfelt thank you, not just to you listening right now, but to Michael for holding the reins while I had to step back, and especially to Patrick. Mate, I don't even know how to thank you enough for your warmth, your wisdom, and your heart. You filled a space I didn't know how to return to, and you gave my story the respect it needed while I found my footing again. Thank you. Today we're diving deep into anxiety, the silent storm that rips through your chest when you least expect it. I call it the uninvited guest because it never books ahead. It just barges in, takes over the room, and refuses to leave.
It's good to have you back, Scott. And yeah, anxiety is wild like that. It's not always the loud, dramatic kind either. Sometimes it's that quiet hum underneath everything, the kind that makes you feel like you're vibrating with dread, even when things seem calm on the outside.
You know what's funny? I used to think I was just a bit nervous. That's how I explained it away. Like, oh yeah, I'm just a bit on edge. But that edge turned into a cliff I didn't know I was standing on until I'd already fallen. Anxiety hit me like a freight train some days. Others, it snuck in like a fog. I'd open the door to go to work and bam, it was just there. No warning, no trigger I could see.
That's a really important point, mate. A lot of people assume anxiety has to come from somewhere specific, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just is. Your body reacting to something buried so deep even you don't remember what it is.
Exactly. And that made it harder. Because I started blaming myself. What's wrong with me? Why do I feel like this when nothing's going wrong? But see, anxiety doesn't care about your calendar. It doesn't care that you've got work to do or that people are counting on you. It just shows up. And when it does, it feels like you're failing everyone. When the guest moves in, living with anxiety.
I remember you telling me something once, that you'd lock the doors, turn off the phone, and just disappear for a bit. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. That happened again just recently. I didn't answer the door, didn't answer the phone. I sat in the silence, and the silence got loud. Real loud. The worst part, I knew what was happening. I knew it was anxiety, but I still couldn't fight it off. That's what makes it so bloody cruel. It tricks you into thinking the world is dangerous when it's really just your own mind reacting to old wounds. Imagine waking up each morning and before your feet even touch the floor, there's already someone whispering in your ear, "What if today goes wrong?" That's anxiety. It doesn't knock. It doesn't ask to visit. It barges in, uninvited, and makes itself right at home. Living with anxiety is like living with a roommate you never asked for. Some days it's quiet, just lurking in the background like a shadow. Other days, it's all you hear. It rearranges your thoughts, changes how you move through the world, and worst of all, it convinces you that you need it, that without it, you're not being careful enough. See, when anxiety moves in, it doesn't just take up space, it renovates. Suddenly, social events become exhausting. A phone call feels like climbing a mountain, and something as simple as checking the mailbox, that could take an hour to work up to. It's not laziness, it's not weakness, it's your body responding to what it believes is danger, over and over and over again. What people don't always understand is how physical anxiety is. It's not just in your head, it lives in your chest like a storm trying to escape. It sits in your stomach like a brick. It stiffens your neck, clenches your jaw, and sometimes it even mimics illness. The human mind is powerful, and when it's in fight or flight mode 24/7, your body follows. And here's the catch. You can be doing everything right, eating well, exercising, meditating, and it can still slam into you like a truck on a calm afternoon. Anxiety doesn't care about logic. You could be safe, happy, and loved, and it'll still whisper, but what if it all disappears? When anxiety lives with you, every decision feels heavier. What should be simple, like going out for dinner, becomes a risk assessment. Who'll be there? Will it be crowded? What if I panic and can't leave? What if people stare? What if they think I'm weird? The truth is, you start to build your life around your anxiety. It becomes a map you follow every day. Avoid that street. Too busy. Don't answer that message. You might not know what to say. Keep the curtains closed, just in case someone sees you crying. But let me tell you this. From one heart to another, you're not broken. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're surviving, and you're not alone.
That's the thing with trauma, isn't it? Anxiety often isn't about now, it's about then. Old fear replaying in new situations. PTSD's like that. It loops.
And that loop, bloody hell, it's exhausting. You feel like you've done all this work to heal, only to be dragged back into the same pit. But I've come to learn something, and this is for anyone listening who feels stuck. Just because you've fallen back doesn't mean you've gone backwards. Sometimes healing takes a detour. That's all. Imagine waking up each morning, and before your feet even touch the floor, there's already someone whispering in your ear, "What if today goes wrong?" That's anxiety. It doesn't knock. It doesn't ask to visit. It barges in, uninvited, and makes itself right at home.
I want you to revisit something you said the other day about Einstein and time.
Ah, yeah, old mate Albert. He reckoned time doesn't exist. That's a mind bender. So if time doesn't exist, how the hell does time heal all wounds? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe healing isn't passive. Maybe you don't wait for time to do it. Maybe you reach into that loop, the one spinning endlessly in your head, and you stop it. You grab it, look at it, and say, enough. Because every loop, every spiral, every negative has a positive. It must. It might be buried, but it's there. I lost a poem I loved in the floods, footprints in the sand, but I remember a version someone gave me, the one where you walk with the Lord on a beach. There are two sets of footprints, but in the hardest moments of your life, there's only one. So you ask, why did you leave me when I needed you most? And the Lord answers, I didn't leave you. That's when I carried you. But the version I had, it was different. It said, there's only one set of footprints because you've already been back there. You're not supposed to go back. The only way is forward. That hit me differently. See, sand holds memory. It shows you've been somewhere. And every single grain under your foot is a moment. A tear you cried. A step you took in fear. A whisper of hope. A scream into the night. Footprints fade, the tide comes, the wind blows, but you know what doesn't disappear? What you learned walking that path. The pain might dull, the memories might blur, but what stays, what lives on, is who you became through it all. And sometimes the footprints you see, they're not even yours. They're the people who carried you. Friends who stayed when you shut down, family who checked in, a stranger who smiled on the street when you needed it most. I've had a lot of days where I've looked behind me and thought, I wish I could go back. Back to before the trauma, before the loss, before the breakdown. But what I'm learning, what this podcast is helping me live, is that what's behind me is done. The only way is forward, so leave your prints, make them deep. Let them show the world that you are here, fully, painfully, beautifully human. I want to share a couple of emails we got recently. One's from Caroline in New Zealand. She's 49, got 3 kids, and she asked something that hit me in the gut. She said, Scott, when I get anxious, I try and fix it, but it makes it worse. What do you do? Caroline, here's the truth. Don't fix it. That's the cycle. You've got anxiety. Then you get anxious about having anxiety. So now there are 2 of them fighting each other, and guess what? You lose either way. My answer is, don't fix it. Listen to it. Learn from it. You know, yesterday I said something that came straight from the gut. No script, no plan, just truth. Don't fix it. Listen to it. Learn from it. And I want to expand on that because it really hit home for me, and I think it might help a lot of people, and especially you, Caroline. We're told all the time to fix things. Fix your car, fix your hair, fix your life. And when anxiety or depression shows up, our instinct is the same. How do I fix this? But the truth is, it's not broken. You're not broken. Anxiety isn't always something that needs repairing. Sometimes it's something that needs hearing. See, anxiety is your body's alarm system. It's not trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect you. But over time, especially after trauma or loss, that alarm gets a bit faulty. It starts going off at the wrong times, in the wrong places. You could be doing something perfectly normal, cooking dinner, walking outside, sending a message, and your mind starts screaming, danger. And what do? We panic, we try to silence it, we rush to fix it. And in doing that, we actually feed it. We tell our brain, yep, this is scary, we have to fix it, we have to run. But what if, instead of fixing it, we just sat with it? What if we said, okay, anxiety, you've shown up again. Why? What are you trying to say? What am I afraid of right now? And is that fear real, nor is it just familiar? When I told you, Caroline, don't fix it, what I meant was, stop seeing anxiety as a broken part of you. Start seeing it as a part that needs to be understood. When we listen to it, it becomes quieter. When we fight it, it screams louder. And the next part, learn from it. Every time anxiety shows up, it's like a little teacher. Annoying as hell, yeah, but trying to show you something. Sometimes it's pointing out an old wound you haven't healed yet. Sometimes it's telling you that you need rest, or space, or to have a hard conversation. The lesson is different every time. But there's always a lesson. You don't learn much by yelling at your anxiety to shut up, but you can learn a hell of a lot by asking it questions. I still struggle with this myself, Caroline. Even though I say it, even though I know it, I fall into that trap too. I try to push it away, I try to fix it, and it ends up roaring back harder. But when I breathe and say, okay, what's going on here? That's when I get a bit of peace. So if I leave you with anything, it's this. Stop trying to fix what isn't broken. Listen, learn, and remind yourself that you're not the problem. You're the answer.
You once told me about your 3 L's: learn, limit, and listen. That still sticks with me.
That's right. When the anxiety speaks, I listen. I try not to judge it. I try not to shove it down. I treat it like a frightened kid in my head that just needs reassurance. And Max from Papua New Guinea asked about stress. Oh, how do you deal with stress when you got PTSD? He said. Max, stress for me is often just grief in disguise. When something's taken from us, a loved one, a home, a dream, we don't just lose it. We lose a piece of ourselves. That's why it's painful. Let's go back to Einstein for a second. The man said, there is no such thing as time, it's just a stubborn illusion. Now think about how often we hear, time heals all wounds. It makes you stop and ask, if time doesn't exist, how does it heal anything? That's the thing about trauma. It doesn't follow clocks. It's not on a schedule. It doesn't read calendars or set reminders. Trauma exists outside time. A smell, a song, a shadow in the hallway can drag you right back. 5, 10, 40 years in an instant. So if healing isn't a matter of time, what is it? I think it's choice, intent, effort. It's us saying, I need to stop the loop. That invisible loop Einstein talked about, it spins and spins. It keeps the pain in motion, the thoughts that haunt us. That replay button is part of the loop. We relive the same grief, the same betrayal, the same regret, over and over. To break that loop, you've got to stick your hand in it. That's risky. It might hurt, but it's the only way to stop the pattern and say, I've had enough. You choose to examine it, feel it, challenge it, talk about it. That's healing, not time. Healing isn't passive. It's not about waiting, it's about doing. Sometimes healing means telling your story, even if your voice shakes. Sometimes it means crying on the bathroom floor at 2 a.m. and not apologizing for it. Sometimes it means asking for help. Sometimes it means forgiving someone who never said sorry, and sometimes that person is yourself. We're told time is linear, A to B, past to present to future, but trauma doesn't care about that line. It exists in spirals, in circles, in flashes. So maybe healing isn't about moving forward at all. Maybe it's about understanding where you've been so you don't live there forever. Let me tell you about a day that stays with me, one of the most beautiful and bittersweet moments of my life. It was with my late partner, let's call her Karen. We were in Townsville, about to have a picnic in the park. The sky was gray, looked like rain. She was grumbling about the cold. I told her, don't worry, I've got you. That's all I need. We laughed. I forgot my jumper, went back for it, then forgot the food. Typical me. When I finally made it back, she jumped out from behind a tree and scared the life out of me. We sat down and then, I'll never forget this, the clouds parted. The sun came through like it was shining just on us. That one patch of light. Just us. And I remember thinking, this is what happiness looks like. It wasn't fireworks. It was sunlight on her face. It was quiet, warm, safe. 9 weeks post-op from knee surgery, I decided I was going to propose. Tradition said one knee, so one knee it was. But bloody hell, it was a sight. Me wobbling, groaning, shaking, in pain, finally getting down there. I ask her, will you marry me? She looks at me and goes, nah. I'm gobsmacked, heartbroken. I'm starting to cry. Then she says, get back on that knee. Of course I'll marry you, you know. I stayed on the ground for half an hour. Couldn't get back up. We laughed so hard. It was beautiful. It still is. That's the thing. The grief is real, but so is the joy. And sometimes we need to choose to remember the joy.
Before we wrap, we want to ask you something. Do you love yourself?
Here's the thing. I struggle with that a lot. I blame myself for things I couldn't control. I feel like I ruin everything. But if you want to heal, even a little, start by caring for yourself. not fixing, just caring it. And if you can't do that yet, borrow our belief in you until you can. To everyone listening, thank you. This podcast gives me anxiety, but it also gives me hope. If I've helped one person feel less alone, it's worth every tear.
And we're not done yet. Keep walking with us. The road is long, but we're walking together.
And again, Patrick, thank you. Oh, from the bottom of my heart. You gave me space to breathe. You're not alone. If you need help, reach out.
Lifeline 131114. Beyond Blue 130-0224-636.
Email me, chatwithscottfindthelight@gmail.com. Reaching out for help isn't giving up, it's fighting back.
We'll see you in episode 8. Until then, take care of yourself. You're the light in someone's darkness, even if you don't see it yet.
Soul searching, fall apart, tunnel vision, hiding in the dark. Well, I ain't gonna holler before I really bleed. Salvation or quick fix remedy. You said I never could change. I thought I never could change. They said I never could change. Damn right, never would. Leave the light on. Leave the light on. Just leave the light on. Yeah, leave the light on. If I'll ever change, of Nashville, Tennessee, while the cold here in Sweden got the best of me. Well, haven't I got better things to think about than that? Like deadlines, rent's due, bills pile up, family day in, day out, the clock's mocking me, getting old, oh God, the kids deserve so much more than this, gotta get rich. You said I never could change. I thought I never could change. They said I